be okay and being top 6? No! That is the face of someone who wants to take his second international. Where's first?
Same
And
here.
a second. We actually have 7 TI winners taking the stage right now, and 8 if you count coaches.
It is. That is absolutely crazy. And they both look confident, right? Like neither team's coming up kind of sad. You see Sumail leading the way, smiling. No Tail on the other side doing the exact same thing. We're just ready for some good Dota.
We really, really are.
OG versus Evil Geniuses. Game 3.
Really important in that last game. Of course, also the big team fights, but it does feel like Enchantress seems to just like set you up to have that like great advantage coming out of the laning phase.
Enchantress is Enchantress, but I just realized like the mid lane is so important. I think both games, whoever won mid just had the game on their backs. Like Thompson, or super hyper aggressive mid player who, you know, if the advantage is given, or as I say that, they pick Enchantress again.
So almost exactly the same bands. The only difference is Elder Titan was in the first phase instead of Ancient Apparition, similar to the first game draft, except pick order is flipped as well.
So as I was saying, I think like this Thompson, this Sumail, these two players just love to kill heroes, and if they're given the advantage, they're just gonna go for blood. So I think the mid matchup is really important between these two teams.
Yeah, I want to see, in particular, at least for OG, I want to see them playing something that just run around and make kills happen with like the Monkey King or the Tiny. EG, they're going to deny that. They're actually going to take the Tiny away this time around.
I feel like one of the strengths that Thompson has as a player is his ability to just like go insane. He makes your opponents look like pub opponents, is what it seems like. And he was able to do that last game. He got 3 kills like Tsunami showed within a matter of 1 minute. It was insane to watch. Can he do that again without Tiny? Like, what's the hero substitute that would solve that?
That's why I said
Does
Monkey
he need
King.
to do it? Monkey King is definitely one of those heroes that he does it with, but can you beat a Tiny in lane with Monkey King? I guess he has no armor at level 1. It could work.
I used to see the matchup actually a lot last year, and it was like pretty back and forth. I think the Monkey King won most of those though.
Okay.
But it's also the mid game is like concerning too, because you can also just get burst down.
And there's a roaming Mirana.
And there's going to be a roaming Mirana.
Yeah, the Ava toss into an arrow, it can be very devastating.
Yeah.
Is this going to be Thompson Invoker again?
This is probably flex pick, right? I think it can still be Jarax's hero for sure. I think you leave it open until you see what lane you're against for sure in the mid lane. And I think when you have the Enchantress, it allows you the luxury of actually being able to go for a little bit more of a greedy 4 position, because Enchantress just is Enchantress and has a pretty good lane.
So you can put a weaker hero with her, and then it'll transition into late game well, and the laning stage won't be terrible, right?
Yeah. And like Enchantress, like I talked about, game 2 needs some AoE teamfight control, and Invoker provides that.
Yep.
On position 4, so yeah, it can be a position 4.
They're actually going to ban the SD finally. Wasn't being banned down in the last 2 games, but this time I guess because they do have that Mirana, and they're not maybe wanting to have a save this time around, because last time, right, they saved that Oracle for last pick to save versus the combo.
Yeah, that's right. Faceless Void was integral for OG in the late game. In the mid game, he ate a lot of arrows. Maybe a good thing, but yeah, not going to have that this game. So it's going to be a lot harder for OG to set up guaranteed teamfight wins later on.
Yeah, Void and Invoker is such a devastating combo together. The Void Chrono into Cataclysm in the late game is pretty devastating, so I think they're just taking that out.
I love seeing, you know, TI is so great because you always like do the full circle back to like either super carries getting picked up like anti-mage, or it's just like these massive team fight lineups that just constantly are battling. Like you were mentioning in the last game, where we had 50-something kills in the 40-minute mark, or even more than that, something like that. It's just non-stop aggression, non-stop fighting, non-stop trying to take these battles. And usually the team with the better team fight at the TI main stage ends up having an easier time, at least at executing.
It just really helps when you have a hero that can grasp win. Like, you know where they are, you see them, you can jump in, hard disable them, guarantee kills. That makes a huge difference. It really helped against the Terrorblade, especially. Once you Chronosphere him, you're like, okay, if you don't have a save, you're dead, period. It makes the game a lot easier.
Especially for these teams too. I think EG, OG, compared to like these Chinese teams, they really love to fight early and just like spill a lot of blood.
We'll see if they can do the same thing. Centaur banned now. Mobile hero, burst damage, has a pretty good time getting his team on top of the enemy team. So maybe they're worried about the carry versus offlane matchup. What do you guys think?
it can be a setup for the Mirana Arrow later on, and it's either Sanking or Centaur, and EG doesn't have ET this time around, so Centaur ban does make a bit of sense.
So you think Sanking's not as bad now? Because the ET's not there?
Yeah, it's definitely worse because Sanking Mirana, the dual combo, yes, the damage is there, but it's too like one-dimensional, the damage. Like, it's bad against BKBs, it's gonna fall off eventually because the damage is linear. It doesn't scale well.
Then go for the CM that they used in the first game. I think this is also just dictating that they want to play really aggressive like they did with the CM last time.
Yeah.
Allows everyone to just be constantly on the map more because you always have that aura. You can always keep pushing out lanes. You can always keep playing aggressive, and you can even threaten an aggro tri-lane as we saw them do with that CM in the first series, or in the first game.
It's a good form of damage from position 5 towards the Enchantress too, I think.
Yeah, that's a good point. Our freezing field, our ultimate, was really useful in a lot of cases against the PA as well. So
Lifestealer looks like a pretty decent hero for OG here.
yeah, I believe it got banned second phase in the first game in
Yeah.
this similar situation.
Feels good versus all these just like high magic damage. Tiny is, sure you have high armor, but very high HP hero that Lifestealer really enjoys playing versus.
Yeah, the only time it's good versus Tiny or for Tiny is when he gets his Ags and you can do like ranged heavy physical damage.
Could be a carry that OG could be looking at here, but I don't know if they'll pick it in the third. They might save it.
I mean, technically they could have 0 supports on the board right now, a little bit abnormal.
True.
Anything else really good? Ogre is still in the pool.
Juggernaut looks okay for OG as well.
Which hero?
Juggernaut.
Oh, okay. Yeah, similar as the Lifestealer.
Wow.
With
Rubik.
this Rubik pick, it seems like it's an Invoker mid, right?
Yeah, that's what you'd think. This is actually cool. We saw now what the LGD series. I've been seeing a lot of teams actually picking the Rubik versus the Mirana now, just because you're likely to get a pretty damn good steal. Like everything is good. Leap is probably like your worst one, and it's a triple away to either get in or get out as a Rubik, which isn't bad to have. Arrow is a great spell because you're gonna get the extra duration. Starstorm as well, you get the amplification. I've really actually been liking that Rubik pick a lot that I've been seeing from teams today, versus that Mirana in particular.
Yeah, it's against CM2, which is another, like, it feels really great playing
Yeah.
Rubik against CM. Order spurs are pretty nice. And you kind of can't ulti against Rubik because Rubik's CM ulti is so much stronger than your ulti.
Yeah. And even if he stuns somebody else, he can still possibly throw them into her,
Yeah.
interrupt her ultimate.
Yeah. So I don't know. It was a really good Rubik pick, but I'm kind of afraid for this Invokers game. Like we saw in the game 1, I felt like Mirana can roam to mid. Meanwhile, like Rubik cannot kind of roam to mid to kill the Tiny. And Tiny versus Invoker matchup in general, Tiny seems to have the upper edge. And we don't even know if it's I guess it's a Tiny mid. Like it should be a Mirana for Tiny mid.
Yeah, that's what that's probably the more than likely.
Yeah.
We know Sumail loves to play Tiny as well, as we saw last year, of course, when he had the
Yes.
30-something kills or whatever when he ran over the whole game.
It's like literally this match in this part of the bracket a year ago.
It's
he
the
broke
same heroes.
the all-time kill record for a single game.
Yeah.
Got 30 kills. It was an insane match, and then Sumail still lost the match.
That was versus OG too, right?
Yes,
and
it
that
was
was the one.
literally
That was
the
the
same thing.
damage mitigation draft where they had Spectre, Io, Centaur, and I remember he's just running around and then he tossed Artesia into the tier 4s. Of course, that happened in that game.
Hey man, he got 30 kills. I do not care. You cannot say that one was Sumail's fault. He messes up once. Let it
Ask BSJ about that. You know, he
Okay.
blames Sumail entirely for that
go.
game.
Really?
Yeah.
This pick's kind of throwing me off because it should be easy crit. Crit on Dark Willow is one of his favorite heroes. He's amazing at that hero too.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
What about a 3 Mirana? I mean, really, Mirana could hypothetically lane in any situation.
That's true. I guess they could still do that 3 Mirana and then having this.
But 3 Mirana with a Willow, that seems too squishy. So I think it's a mid Mirana and Tiny offlane.
Okay.
That makes more sense.
That makes more sense. Yeah.
Is it that squishy versus Rubik? I mean, Willow can get 2. You get Cursed Crown, toss that on a guy, that's an arrow, for sure. Plus Bramble Mace follow-up, maybe kill potential. And crits, Dark Willow is excellent.
Yeah.
And Dark Willow has tons of magic damage,
It's
so
pretty
she's
good
going to be able to
against
kill the
Enchantress.
Enchantress.
Yeah, it's good
She's
for
going to
yes.
rush the Spirit Vessel. It kind of fits a lot of boxes. The only thing that's weird about it is it's going to force Mirana into a weird role, potentially. Not a non-standard for the current meta.
And
But-
they're gonna go for that Jug now, especially versus the Willow.
Yeah,
I think
especially with the Willow.
it's so good versus that hero.
Lifestealer was an option too, I think. But I think
What makes
OG
Jug better?
I think OG, they're the healing ward. They can just keep on there's 2 heroes, the nature's Enchantress is here and Juggernaut healing ward, so they can just keep being on the map.
So also, I think the Jug is better versus the Willow overall because you can actually do something when she's inside of her realm. You can actually spin and do some damage as well. It's small, but it's something.
All right, last phase of bans here. Oracle banned out once again. They are anticipating the save hero. Any other save heroes? Do they need a save hero with the Jug carry?
He can kind of protect himself. There's no BKB piercing disables on EG at all right now, so that spin is going to be really useful for himself to protect them.
And one thing EG is actually really missing this game, unlike what they had last game, was they don't have a setup stun other than Tiny. So it's going to be really difficult for Mirana to get arrows unless it's like Dark Willow. Basically, it's a delayed stun. So
They have Frostbite. I mean, it's not amazing, and it doesn't usually come out like a laning phase, really. But I mean,
correct.
It's not an easier combo to hit.
Yeah, it's still
But when BKBs come out for OG, then they will have defensive options against EG's current go. So they go for Sanking. So that's their
5-position Enchantress then, right?
Yeah, that makes
Right, that's the no-tail Enchantress.
It's a very weird lane, but I always see No-Tail pulling it off. The Enchantress and the Juggernaut lane. Usually Juggernaut wants some disable from position 5, so they have that nice disable into spin combo, but let's see how No-Tail pulls this off.
Yeah, he can also so he has also the Dispel as well versus the Willow. That can be kind of nice to. Actually, what am I talking about? Sorry.
other way around.
Yeah,
Can't dispel
just
yourself.
kidding.
It's okay. We all make
It's
mistakes.
it's been a long day.
Your mistake was way less egregious than mine was. So I'll let it go. It's okay.
I was like, what am I saying right
So
now?
what is the carry hero needed for EG here?
I don't know.
Maybe
That's a question you're supposed to answer.
Maybe
man.
it's Slark. I can see Slark being okay.
Arteezy Slark. Whoa.
Anti-mage.
This is what we said, right? The anti-mages, they trickle back into the TI meta. And he's versus that, potentially what the core, I mean, not potentially, but the core invoker. So high mana pool.
But I don't think it's the strongest hero this game.
Why do you think they went for it?
Juggernaut's pretty good against anti-mage.
Yeah.
I think they went for it because it's really great against Sanking and the Rubik.
Like lane-wise, it'll be easy.
Lane-wise and game-wise. Lane-wise, I'm not so sure. Like he might have a tougher time, but I know like in-game it's gonna be pretty easy. But Juggernaut is pretty good against anti-mage.
All right, guys, that's the final draft here for this last upper bracket match. We've got a really good game ahead of us. Let's toss it over to Toby and Sind.
It is game 3, it's the decider, but who this time around will take the 2-1 and that winner's bracket position? OG and EG, interesting drafts once again. It's always interesting when you ban out a Magda and IO, but you're loving a nice little switch up from OG as far as the lane rolls go.
Yeah, they gave away the Enchantress again, and as the panel was talking about, this Enchantress, wait, they picked Sanking, this Enchantress has got to be support now, and that's why they picked the Anti-Mage. This is the worst match. I love playing Sanking. It's one of my favorite off-laners. I hate playing against Anti-Mage. It is so bad of a lane matchup, and that's a big part of the reason EG picked it here, is to force that matchup as well as it being good against the Invoker in the game. However, OG step it up a notch. They're like, okay, we need to solve this. You saw them in the booth. They were doing their math, and they've decided that they will put the Sanking position 4, and No-Tail is playing 5 Rubik. That's how important it is for them to solve this problem. It was kind of a checkmate situation almost, but they got out of it. And now it's just a matter of, can they salvage the lanes? Can this work with this support duo? It's very unusual.
The panel was already saying, like, somehow No-Tail makes the support Enchantress work as well.
Yep.
Now, making the support Rubik work, how do you try and lane this up then to make it actually happen? We've seen Seb do his work. Chirax was, in my mind, amazing in game 2 on that ES. He's still going to play the same team role, team stunner, team fight role that OG really need from him as well. But how do you still ensure that No-Tail has a good game on this 5 Rubik?
Well, fortunately for him, he's laning with a strong carry in lane. Juggernaut is a pretty good laner, and there's no matchup in this that he totally can't deal with. So
it's not a combination, right? Like Rubik and Juggernaut together is spin and telekinesis grab. It's old, but it could still work.
But the problem with that is Rubik deals so little damage. That's the problem with that combo in the start. When Rubik hits level 3 and has 2 in Fateful, sure. But if you compare it to something like Lich Jugger or Crystal Maiden Jugger, there's just way more in the way of damage from those 2 supports in the lane. So it's definitely a weaker version. But I honestly, I just love it from OG that they're doing this because I think it's a very creative and probably ideal solution to the problem that they have to solve.
I estimate the
question is if it's good enough. And it's also about what lanes they get. Because sure, you get the core sanking out of the problem against anti-mage, but guess what? Support sanking also hates facing anti-mage. So you still need to get the lanes right and go from there. And it looks like EG might have the right read in this game. They've put their tiny top so far.
And Anti-Mage is down on the bottom lane with Fly.
Yeah, they want the anti-mage to avoid the Ench. So that will mean anti-mage will not play against Sanking. So there's a bit of a win for both teams in that sense. Sanking will have a better time up here, but anti-mage will also be avoiding the Ench.
That was nice from Fly, right underneath the Juggernaut, grabs the rune. So it's 3 for 1 at the very beginning.
This aggro tri-lane from EG is very unorthodox, by the way. Crystal Maiden, Dark Willow, anti-mage aggro tri-lane.
It's like, you go for the Nova, then they have to navigate the Bramble at slow speed. Like, this can't last for long, can it?
Well, it's kind of good news for Ana. She's good against this lane, but No-Tail could have a very hard time. And the question is how much farm he's going to get. Oh, that's some really good damage into Ana already, actually. They're playing without a healing salve.
Meanwhile,
bottom lane.
Yeah. Bottom lane, they go ham. Sumail's taking a lot of damage. S4's having a hard time walking away from Jirax on the top. Got a nice observe ward onto, like, just on the other side of the trees. So they're able to see S4, any support that comes his way. Mainly the T-Port from Fly.
He got 3 free hits in on Ana, just burning off the mana as fast as possible. So Ana has to dig into the mango to spin later, and then
that's a great Bramble.
That's some serious damage.
Is he gonna spin? He hasn't let that thing up, and 6 yet 0 HP. Ana is down. Crit gets the reach.
He refused to skill spin because he feels like he needs healing ward to sustain.
Absolutely no sense.
And he TP's back down. He still hasn't put in his skill point and hasn't bought any extra regen. There's no salve still coming in. No-Tail had the gold for it. Honestly surprised that they didn't drop some regen and bring that with Ana's TP.
And now the EG have the advantage. They're moving Fly to the top lane.
8 for 3 against 1-0. That's a tri-lane well executed in the start.
Bed. The jump came in. Thompson and Sumail. What a surprise. Killing each other under the tier 1 tower. Sumail gets the kill, so he'll get the XP.
Yeah, big winner there, Sumail. He got more gold, and he got the experience. So he's going to feel good about that one.
Because that's just the way the mid lane gets to work when it's a 1-1 trade.
Sometimes the guy who gets the kill second is not as unfavored as Thompson was in that exchange, but...
It's actually hilarious how they start again. Thompson's back under the tier 1 tower, beating into Sumail. They both have to start munching on tangos and dropping down a half-life bottom lane. Arteezy, he's going once again on Ana. Ana still holding the spin as Arteezy drops low. They just want to get some experience into them. While S4 enchanted up, buying Jirax some time to attack. And he's body blocking S4, trying to buy more time for Steph to get damage in, but S4 will just salve this off.
In the meantime, bottom lane, they're out of regen. OG completely dry. Actually, never mind. Ana got a tango pack left. But no salve still. No regen, no mana, no tail.
Get the Bramble. Quintus, like, working with Arteezy, you burn up the mana, and then it's just easy harassment from range.
The good news for OG, though, is the top lane is going well. Seb has great farm. They're shutting down the Tiny nicely, as they should be, with the head start they had. But the other 2 lanes going well for EG. And this time around, Arteezy's not getting shut down. And the way they've been playing this series so far, I think you can consider this an early lead for them. That is what they want. Anti-Mage to have a beginning that he can work with. Is that a healing? That's a Ring of Health flying out? No, it's a Wraith Band and some more regen for Arteezy. So he can keep on the pressure.
Just loving it. Even the fort was used. I think that was actually so the tree toss from S4 wouldn't get the kill on the range creep on top lane. They're really just trying to keep him down as much as possible. And they have. He's, as you said, he's 5 for 0. The lane's looking good, but bottom lane, Arteezy just gets more and more time to beat into him. And now another root blink forward from Arteezy. No-Tail navigating the brambles. He'll get the space, but he will not escape crit. Ana was trying to stand on top of him, I think, to make it a misclick from crit. But it won't work.
And I wonder how Ana's going to recover this time around. We saw in the Void game, the lane might have been a little bit hard, but he recovered nicely. This time around, it just feels harder. Their lane, his Rubik Jugger, how are they supposed to kill in this lane? It's an anti-mage and a Willow. You can maybe you can get a lift on the Willow and toss it into a spin, but it's not enough damage, and the anti-mage is just flat out unkillable. Look at Willow just leaving Arteezy even to go into mid. They're trying to get Thompson Brambles.
Yeah, starts
Not
to tornado.
connect.
Oh, Thompson! He was standing almost smack bang in the middle of one of crit, and he just moves a little bit further north and dodges.
Nice movement from Thompson there. That could have absolutely been a kill.
And what does Ana and Nortel do instantly? All right, well, it's time to do some damage towards Arteezy. Hopefully I get one crit. He's got one.
Oh, he got tossed up top. Sep got tossed into the tower.
Too deep.
Oh no, he can't die here. That's real bad for OG's laning. That is such a big kill. And now Jerax might have to... He might have to yield on the bounty runes too. He has no Enchantress to help him out. So OG will get 3 runes, or EG, sorry, will get 3 runes. Maybe even 4. So Mail.
He's moving over for it. That's a
Seb
bottle
is too
charge
late.
too.
4 runes and a kill on the Ench. Seb was out of position and got tossed.
I like how Fly is not even grabbing it. He's waiting it out. Maybe he can even get some bottle charges if he wants to help out. Jirax waiting on the top lane. S4's nearby. They'll go for the Frost. Quick Mango. Anything they've got. Jirax, he's in bits for the moment. The tree toss, a little bit off target. Jirax able to dodge. But this is some time that's being wasted by Samaya looking for this kill. He'll take the catapult up on top, but Thompson's in recovery mode in mid, while this rotation doesn't net a kill.
Are EG going to swap their lanes so Tiny goes mid now, or what's the plan here?
It's like
Leaving the lane empty like this is a bit odd.
I think they're trying to wait until S4 returns to the lane, and
supposedly.
now the TP happens.
Now he's half a level behind Thompson though.
Ana is getting forever rooted by crit on bottom lane. There's one tango left. He'll have to consume the mango in order to have enough to get the healing ward down, but how is he meant to be farming under here? And instantly taken care of by crit. There's no sustain at all. It's almost like there's no hope for Ana down here.
And Crit gets that extra mana coming in constantly from the Maiden Aura. He might be dying here though if No-Tail gets the lift. Jerax is in range. Not anymore now. He's gonna wrap around.
Like, which one's real? I need to choose. I prefer to get the kill over on Arteezy, but it seems impossible unless they have full control. Pick up, throw down. Oh no! The spell shield's leveled up at 4, and Arteezy just trades places with Jirax. And then into Bramble. Arteezy jumps forward. S4's arrived with the avalanche. Crit. Level 2 in Shadow Realm has more than enough damage to pop Ana once more. His second death of the game.
That's going to be a Ring of Health for Arteezy now as well, coming in a sec. Going to be furthering his lead in this lane. Making the harassment that bit harder.
I almost feel like Seb is taunting to try and get EG to come back to him.
Oh, I'm sure he's muted. Don't worry about it. There's no way. He's absolutely muted. So, Anti-Mage with the Ring of Health will be that bit harder to harass now for the Rubik. He's going to continue his farming down here in the bottom lane.
It really
The big
feels
difference-
like Thompson's just had the last 3 minutes by himself in mid lane.
That's the biggest difference between this game and the other Invoker game, is that Thompson is having a much better time this time around, and we know what kind of tempo he can set for his team in this kind of games. But does he have targets? It's hard to kill Willow as Invoker. It's hard to kill the Anti-Mage as Invoker. It's hard to kill Mirana as Invoker. And even the Tiny, the targets, it's easy to kill Maiden, though. So that's nice.
It's almost like you need to pick up an Orchid in order to get the kills on these guys. So
I
they
think he
don't
needs-
counter you back.
He needs someone to combine with, but the best player for him to combine with is a Sand King, but he's
Bottom lane.
Bottom lane, yeah.
EMP, they just need to change
That's
the
a
chance,
good
make
one.
sure there's no blink away and Arteezy. Spell Shield won't help you there.
4-man gank, the lift.
And instantly back into mid lane, he'll miss one melee creep. So efficient from Thompson's rotation, but EG's trying one of their own. Under their own Dire Observer. Seb, you've been taunting for a while. You've been asking EG to kill you. And, well, you may get exactly what you wish for. Seb gets the 1 level up in attendance, stick charges, but he's got the Curse Crown on him. He can't walk this off, but TP's coming in from Rubik. No-Tail will look to create the space, and Seb, well, he can walk it off. Even with his tree toss from S4, I don't think he's got enough damage, and even No-Tail de-wards the Ops.
Thompson being super annoying mid. Arteezy does have the Maiden Aura though, so we'll get mana for Blink a bit sooner. Has the stick charges if he really needs to blink.
Seb just moving over. It's like, okay, well, curse crown me. Thompson's ready to fight. Thompson, in fact, please stun me too. S4 able to do it, but Jirax, he gets a double stun of his own. They get the telekinesis grab over on S4, but Jirax, he's focusing over on crit, using that cold snap for the control. S4 now comes up as well up the hill, realizes OG owns this part of the map with the impetus. He actually gets the damage. He'll die from the fall. Jirax, not the perfect layer, but it'll still work nonetheless. Samel, burned out of mana. He's bottle charging up. Seb needs to give the attendants over towards Thompson. Now they can turn their attack over. Fly, he's arrived as well, looking for that damage. Have they got enough? Samel has to leap distance to get away to safety. And Crit, he wants to turn around. Thompson, again, that curse crown. It's going to get the stun. The quaff, it will not be enough life and sustain to keep Thompson alive. And Samel will quite happily take that kill.
Man, there's so much happening on the map right now. And guess who the biggest winner is, as it always is with OG? Anna was bottom the whole time. So much space being made for him. He's caught up. He's actually overtaken Arteezy now after that very difficult laning stage in the beginning. The one kill they got bottom, and then this move mid just created a lot of time for him.
10-minute runes, here we go again. If you thought it was going to simmer down, Jirax will take the bounty to begin with. They're looking over towards Crit. Jirax looking to actually cut through. It's a level 3 burrow, so he's not in range. The Shadow Realm being used to just protect Crit for the moment. He'll slap an extra attack into No-Tail for sure. Meanwhile, Thompson alone in mid lane.
Yep.
It feels like the old classic. As you said, like Anna gets space, but then when you go down to deal with Anna, you deal with another lane, then Thompson gets space. Like, which poison do you want to die to here? The only other choice is to kill them all. EMP Tornado from Thompson in mid. Crit, he's ready to move around to work here with Fly. Samel will take the damage. He's got the one charge with the curse crown, and Focus are walking out of here. He'll go invis, but it won't help him.
In the meantime, though, Arteezy is not getting a single creep. OG are putting their own pressure up top where Arteezy is playing. With the siege creep,
TP. Arteezy jumps in, untouchable. That takes a long time to get one attack into Seb. He'll move into the trees. The attendants, they're going to wear off right now. But Arteezy's blinked himself forward, so Seb is quite happy to do max damage to that anti-mage. A quick curse crown on Jirax. He's got Burrow Strike available, waits it out nicely, gets a stun through the Shadow Realm, and then dodges the arrow of Samel a little late. And now that leaves Crit stranded. There's little to no damage he can do to get any kind of rebuttal, and the rest of his team has left him for dead.
I think the arrow wasn't ready, or Samel would have definitely got that on the crown. Probably had a minor cooldown from the... Oh, did he even use it? I'm actually not sure. That was just...
On the crown? The arrow? It got thrown at the end, yeah.
Yeah, that was a guaranteed stun if he used it earlier, so maybe it was on cooldown there. S4 will be pressuring bottom while all this is happening. Yes.
And what does Seb do?
Seb's going to defend it for now. He just walks in.
That's fine. What are these creeps going to do? They'll swing their arms up in the air. For Detroit. A lovely city.
Damn it.
Oh, I got him before you.
Oh.
Hey.
My joke.
Hey, I got you with the Ghostbusters, man. I got you with the Ghostbusters.
Oh, I was not thinking about that.
Yeah. Does anyone even know what that song is, or are we just proving our age?
Everybody knows that song.
Really hope so. Most people don't even know what Bonanza is.
Comes up from S4. They want to try on Ana here. This kill is
difficult.
Actually flat out impossible for these two heroes. He can spin CPL.
Yep. Problem with the Avalanche, never a permanent
He doesn't
stun.
have a TP.
Oh, Shadow Realm will take out the healing ward. Jirax is nearby. He may have to burrow to create some space, or he's just like, okay, Hannah, I'm sorry, man. You can only slice if you want to, but you're dead.
Oh, I didn't click him to check if he had a TP before that, but EG very clearly did, and they ran him down. That is a huge kill. He was the richest hero on the map.
And
This
what's
seems
the
to
trade-off?
happen once or twice in every game. Ana is just being left alone and will get killed once in a while. These kills are big.
I remember the analyst panel, they're talking about like the way OG plays, like, hey, we're up on the top lane, and it was always Seb who was kind of the one who was out too far. It's like, hey, come and kill me. How many heroes did it take from EG to kill off the Juggernaut? Yeah, he's worth a lot, but then you get heavy damage into the tier 1 towers. Seb, who was the #1, they're giving more back into him, and he's going to try and return it in where the drums build early on. And just add that level of pressure. And meanwhile, Thompson also farming up. Straight into Spirit Vessel, no Hand of Midas on this Invoker.
And there's another big item coming up soon. This one is for EG though. It's going to be the dagger for S4 and 100 gold. Some really good targets for him in this game. A lot of the Radiant heroes don't have too much max health. The Rubik support dies very easily. The Invoker dies really easily. The Enchantress also dies easily if there's a little bit of follow-up. Speaking of Enchantress, they're actually, again, they're trying, I mean, it's not happening.
No. There's more support coming in under the cover of smoke to both sides. Arteezy was being hunted, but Arteezy's game sense is tingling. And he just moves away and goes down to the Trinity camp we were talking about. Oh, I'm being invaded in my own jungle. The Observers and Sentries now being dewatered. Bottom lane, Seb. Yep.
Okay.
Fly. Okay. Hey, real CM's channel full duration.
They threw everything and the kitchen at him. Not just the sink that time.
Oh, they'll get a lot of it back. Sumail's found a regeneration rune in bottom river.
Sumail not skilling Moonlight Shadow, by the way. What is this? Not a single point in it? I mean, he could only have one, but he's level 10.
He went for the 200 health instead.
It can be really useful for his team. Like, it can be the difference maker, but whether AM survives a gank or not. Is that worth 1 point in arrow? I don't know about that. Okay.
I was actually kind of wondering too, like how he would build in. We were kind of tossing up like where do you get a lot of your physical damage from? Like how do you make sure you like obviously there's no physical build coming in this time around. There's 200 health. We're not going to 15 damage, and he's going in for Aghanim Scepter. Huge lane clearance, and something that OG may not have an easy answer to. Like both cores are going for Battle Furies, but Anti-Mage as well as Mirana, they can clean waves up so quickly, and they're so highly maneuverable.
Mid tower.
Yep. TP comes in.
Oh,
Avalanche. Quick spin from Ana. The fear will be there, and that's going to force the Enchantress to run away. But Ana's in pretty deep. Still has Omni Slash available and a heavy amount of damage thanks to the Demon Edge. And Crit, well, he'll stand there and he'll tank the entire Omni Slash. As the rest of EG back up behind the tier 2.
It was a good idea from S4, but he missed the toss on the Jugger. He tossed a creep instead that got in the way.
Seb, you're coming in deep, man. Like, they're under a shrine. He's got a lot more. Avalanche toss up into the arrow, and Thompson's trying to help out with the Cold Snap, pushing Sumail away. Enchantress now going to get the sprites off. No-Tail still there. The Mana Void. Arteezy!
Oh, that tornado!
The EMP! They're all bone dry! It is an absolute drought of EG! Oh, Arteezy's not going to be happy with that one. The arrow from Sumail well off target of Invoker. Coldsnap's coming off cooldown right now. The Curse Crown. Oh, everyone stand together and get stunned. Maybe there's some damage from the Bedlam, but then a Fire Strike from Durax picking off Crit. And this game has escalated quickly. Meanwhile, Ana up in Norway, farming the top lane.
It feels like, I don't know how Enchantress manages to do this in her games, to just tempt everyone to try for these hard kills. If it's just a tilt effect, like you get annoyed, you're like, just kill the Enchantress, but...
Let's just get him. Let's just get him.
It's really costing EG here that they try to go for these Enchantress kills. They've got 2 on her, but how many have they failed, and how much time has that cost them?
It's cost him a lot. Juggernaut has finished a Battle Fury before the Anti-Mage.
Way before. Arteezy's not even close. He's 2,000 gold away from it right now.
The Graph in gold and experience gets to swing up. EG has obliged OG with a lot of fights, but they need to be able to settle this game down. They need the Aghanims, they need the split push, they need the Battle Fury, they need a lot of things. But what is OG doing? Not giving them the room to breathe. Already attacking into the tier 2 tower on bottom lane.
The tempo is so high now from OG. Now they can kind of do whatever they want. Sand King will get a dagger very soon. Yep, they're going to dive as 4.
No-Tail stunned up continuously, but they'll still get the grab. Pulling back down again. Burrow strikes available, making sure S4 does not get up the hill. Frostbite from Fly can't create enough space. And there is no other support coming in from EG. Instead it was coming from OG. And now it's a 17-minute Blink Dagger for a support SK. We're wondering how you can make these two very not financially viable supports when it's so hard 5, but this works when Durex has a Blink Dagger as fast as the normal offlane does to get them.
Dire are scanning.
Sumail gets a DD.
Very uncertain about fighting against Durex even with that DD.
He was thinking about it, but didn't want to go.
Good observers and sentries from EG. Jirax, oh, he'll cop that arrow. Still under sentry. Sumail can claim that kill nice and quick. And then S4, he'll jump in as well. They're going up the supports and they've got him. Sumail with the double kill. Turn your attention over towards Seb. It'll take a long time to attack into him. The EMP burn is also there from Thompson, making life a little bit more difficult for the Dark Willow. And Seb, he wants to battle. They have sentry versus sentry. Somebody get rid of that. Flies moving forward. You can definitely see them. They're sentries.
Normally.
Oh, crit.
Oh, that's a good combo.
Really good jump in. The Bramble. He'll catch out Ana. He's got Omni Slash. He can turn around right now. There's only one creep that's there. They're doing all the spin damage into S4, then you have to burn the ultimates from Ana. He'll crit at the end.
I think S4, or sorry, not S4. I think Sumail couldn't arrow because Seb just kept running in front of him, so they couldn't combo on that. They get another kill.
The Observer was, bless them see. Fly, he knew he had to dodge. Moved out to the side, and then just his easy pickings.
I'd love to see a replay of that because that was so beautifully executed from EG, how they did the avalanche toss into the terrorize on the jugger. All they needed was to connect an arrow, but I think Seb just ran in front of the Sumail Mirana and he couldn't land it. That's got to be what happened, and that's huge for the outcome of that. Instead of losing their biggest core, they get 2 kills. And sure, Arteezy's getting some space, but man, this is, by his standards, super late Battle Fury. And he had a good start, too.
Crit's dead. EMP Tornado catching him up on the top, but Shadow Roll will add some protection. He's got no more mana to work with. We'll get the damage into Notel, hung around a little longer. Arrow, it flies forward. A nice long 5 seconds done. Over on the Rubicon will now go down and fly. They kill off Thompson. EG, they needed something, and that's something. Seb? Okay, I'll do this solo. Maybe I won't. Ana's nearby. Arteezy. Counter spell up and running. Ana's not going to take that risk of an Omni Slash. Maybe now it's time to pick up those bounty runes. 4 of them on the field. They've been there for 30 seconds. An unusual occurrence for 20-minute bounty runes.
Yep.
But there's just so much fighting with 26 kills 20 minutes into this game.
Sumail with the scouting arrow. Doesn't find anyone. If Jerax knew, he would have taken the other one, I think, as well. He gets one. That's I think 3-for-1 trade on bounty runes in total. Once Ana gets his shit together and takes this one. I guess he doesn't want it. I don't know. He wants to push the wave first. That's fine. Now he's going to take it on the way back. Come on, big camp.
And Jerax is really just trying to stay on Arteezy like a tick.
Dude, is he doing this to just annoy us? It's there. He's not baiting it either.
It's income. It's coming in value. Maybe 1 gold, but it's value.
He felt like nobody from EG was going to come and try to take that. Because it was not set up as a bait. There was nobody there that would have killed on the rune. So.
Your Alacrity buff ups up. Attack speed increased by 100, damage by 10. And Roshan, difficult to kill off. Once again, this Enchantress. Even Roshan thinks she's untouchable. But what does EG do? They scan Roshan. They know what's going on, but how fast can you move over? You're gathering for a smoke, but Roshan's practically dead. 1.4k, 1k, and they're going for what? Nothing. TP over does nothing. They stay with the lanes.
And Jerax is set up bottom. They want to connect over and try to kill Arteezy probably. Never mind, he's not going to go for it. He's just going to push out the wave.
Just counterspelling just in case. OG can move up through mid. It has been the name of their game throughout this tournament. 20 minutes, 22 minutes hits. Let's go high ground, boys. Ana the front liner. Alacrity him up. Able to get quick entangle, but hey, spin's also great from Ana. Sumail's getting some level of damage.
They have so much sustain. They have the Enchantress heal, they have Healing Ward. They're going to go in with the next wave. He has the spin and Alacrity. They're just going to slowly chip this down. And Arteezy, in the meantime, has to try to get as much as possible. They don't want to take this fight because, realistically, OG are not favored in this.
Here we go again. Spin, attack, Fortify has to be used. Arteezy, as he said, like he's refusing to join this fight. EG just have to hold the high ground.
They might have to lose a Rex too, actually, before they can fight. I think Arteezy without Manta in this game is not going to be particularly useful.
Thompson's hunting. 460 move speed inside of that Ghost Walk.
Yeah,
looking for a target, actually just inside the smoke. Like that's
OG
not Ghost
backing
Walk.
off, this became pretty obvious to Arteezy that something is up. But this is the thing about Crosswex Invoker compared to Exhort Invoker is Invokers playing this build are generally really high on mana, so you will be looking for, okay, maybe Arteezy can come in toward the end of the fight and get a big mana void that gets kills, but if you hit the CMP on a couple of heroes, you're super high on mana the whole time. And even that won't be an option for him.
EG's coming out. Moonlight, Shadow, and Smoke being committed. They want to wrap around the back. They want to do something about Jerax. You probably need a ward up on this hillside to make it happen. CM's got one, both Sentry and Observer. Fly drops the Sentry to begin with, Observer straight after. But while that's been happening, there was no defense. Tier 3 tower is gone. There's even a couple of creeps to help the push go. Ana spins. Now he's going to take the melee ranks. You said EG may have to pay the price. The toss, they find one in deep. Seb under the tier 4 towers. The arrow looking to connect as well, but the Omni Slash. S4, he's just totally stranded. Ana will find the kill. Fly trying to let it go. Ana's taking through all of this, however. The sustain. I thought EG are meant to be Captain America, but OG, they can do this all day. And the cold snap. That's not going to follow it up. 14 HP. The sun strike. No, you've got no tail. He stole the blink from Anti-Mage and jumps in. Of course you can do that. Finds the kill. Nice chain stun. Over on top to 5 seconds up, but there's no one from EG who can get close. G-Rex comes in with the epicenter, expecting EG to engage, but they're not there. As OG look for another lane of racks. Pushing through. Crit, he's getting the chip damage into Thompson. Where's your jump? Arteezy is still farming in mid lane. He will not join. Anti-Mage has not finished farming, but S4 is dead for 70 seconds. He's losing his teammates. And what does Arteezy want to do? The answer for Anti-Mage, keep on farming. What's OG gonna do?
Keep on pushing?
Sounds good to me.
There's no tiny for 50 seconds. This is... It's over. They don't have the damage. They can't kill these heroes, I think. Jump in.
Look for your target. Marana, Samael, he's leaping the wrong direction, but he had no other choice. He tried to get the Aghanims damage out, but now he doesn't have a way free. Arteezy's trying to grab the creep waves, but they're all pushed in. The bottom lane's pushed in, which is allowing this pressure from OG up on the top as Fly. Man, T-Rex, he doesn't give to who he's got defensive Yule Scepter available. Will get some chip damage into Nortel, but he has to fight. BKB is up for Arteezy. Now's the time, but he's getting picked up, thrown away. All that farming, and what did it achieve? Arteezy, well, he'll achieve one kill over onto Nortel. He'll blink away. Regeneration is required. Salving up so they can get back to the front lines. They can't lose all these lanes of racks. Tiny is back up again. The TP's coming to the sideline. Here comes S4. Avalanche. Toss. They look towards Thompson. And maybe they got enough damage. Arteezy. The Barret from G-Rex. It'll connect. The spell shield. It wasn't there to actually protect him. Now S4 is stranded. It was a hallelujah play from EG. But right now the gods are on the side of OG. Seb will get himself a double kill. The two big cores there for so long. Hagen's Immortal will give Ana back his life. They're claiming the range racks. Megas are up 26 minutes in. EG are more than on the ropes. It's a tightrope, no net. I'm fairly certain the rope's on fire.
This happened really fast. I just want to point out how fast this happened. The game was really, really even for the first 15 minutes. And then we have this one moment where OG get multiple kills, Arteezy shows up and dies. And since then, it's been OG all the way to get the Roche. They go push with their invincible Jugger with healing.
Oh, Samael. Up in the air, Cold Snap, he can leap away. This is the last chance for EG. All 5 players up. There is no racks, there's no tier 4 towers to really speak of, just the one. Marana jumps in, but Ana still stands his ground. Where's the attack? EG gather on the no-tail flag, looking for an opportunity, and Ana, he's begging for it. He's got Mana Style, he's ready to dodge. They're into the trees. Arteezy blinks away and maybe tops him. He'll be set up towards the air. The Cursed Crown is there. He'll be able to get the nice chain stun. Crit Soul on life. Arteezy getting some cleave damage. They're sent away by the Terrorize. Arteezy, the Mana Void is good, but is it good enough? The sustain from OG, it continues to run. Arteezy protected by the BKB. He has to jump back in again. Crit, S4, they even get the Tornado onto Arteezy over in the tree line. Goodbye. The lights are going out for EG right now. Luckily, this is a winner's bracket, but OG, they will push forward to the winner's bracket final, repeating the history of TI8, 2-1ing EG in this semi-final 2.
That's, you know what? This game is Anti-Mage in a nutshell right now. If you have a good start, you have a good landing stage, this hero, it needs time, it needs space. Arteezy, with just these 2 deaths and the limited farm that he ended up having, just gets overtaken. He gets eclipsed by this Juggernaut super quickly. And then when it comes to defense, well, guess what? You have an Anti-Mage. It's kind of 4 and 5. OG run them over, they put so much pressure, they take the Roche, they go for all the racks in one streak. And they made it look really easy, but in this replay for EG, there's like 1 or 2 moments to go and look back on and be like, man, if we don't go for the Enchantress, this game is so different. And this hero is proving to be a huge problem. They won all 3 games in the series. It was a big nuisance to the other team in all 3 of the games. But you gotta, against OG, you gotta choose. What do you want to ban?
And you gotta do something. OG, they're looking absolutely amazing. Even without Ire, even without Mag, they are a world-class team looking to potentially be the first team to get back-to-back victories. Will it be possible? They look good. They look amazing. Doubters, if you thought last year was maybe a fluke, OG are looking to prove it right now. They're cool, calm, and most definitely happy